Hello everybody and welcome to this year's Game Jam. We are speaking with dear Lisa. She is the manager of IAU studio from Istanbul. I said the truth, right? And we are speaking about this event which will be inspired the next game designing for the studio. We are going to have the presentation, and after that you can ask your question. And we are all here and happy to have you, and thank you for accepting our invitation.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Yes, I think we turn those off a little bit so you can see better. No, you cannot see me, but that's okay. You need to see this. Too dark? Okay. Yeah, too get us. So bear with me. All right. I hope you see all right, you hear all right, you have your water, you're comfortable because 48 hours, right? Welcome. Thank you for having us. My name is Lisa Kretschmer. Here we go. If you cannot pronounce that, that's okay. Lisa is fine. I'm the studio manager of IAU Interactive here in Istanbul. And I share a little bit of information about myself first, so you know who's standing here today to talk to you. And then I'm talking a bit about IAU Interactive. All right. About me, I know a lot of you are students who study game design. I did the same thing. Before I did that, in 2006, I was a media designer. I felt it was quite limited because there was a lot of print advertising, so I decided to study animation and game, like many of you. While studying, I worked in QA, so it was my first job in games, and it's still a great entry job, I have to say. And then I worked in online marketing at Konami, and then I took my actual real first full-time job 10 years ago at Kretschmer in Germany, however. From there I moved to the UK, so from Germany it took me to the UK, to Sweden, and then here to Istanbul. So that means Kretschmer in Germany, Electronic Arts in the UK, Sweden, Ubisoft, and now I'm here as studio manager for IAU Istanbul. That's my little world tour. A couple of the games, I don't know, maybe you know some of them. This is stuff I worked on. I worked on Star Wars Outlaws just recently, and now on the fun stuff that IAU is doing. So I would say, let's jump in. Let's talk about IAU. I would love to give you a bit of an overview of what the company is doing, what projects we're working on, how it is to get into the game industry, how easy, how hard, what to do, basically, what IAU Istanbul is doing in particular, and yes, just a quick introduction. Quick facts. Quick facts. IAU created Hitman, Kane and Lynch, Mini Ninjas, and Freedom Fighters. We are a AAA studio. What that exactly means, most of you know, but I will talk about that in a moment. We are over 25 years old, so we exist for quite some time. We are independent since 2017, since when we split from Square Enix. We are a development and publishing studio. Glacier is our game engine. I will talk about that as well a little bit. We have 5 studios. Copenhagen is the very first one, followed by Malmö, Barcelona, Istanbul, and Brighton in the UK. So we are around Europe, spread across, which is really cool. We have more than 40 different nationalities working. So if you work at IAU or any similar games company, English is the way to go because this is the day-to-day language we speak. Yeah, powered by award-winning technologies. And fun fact, unfortunately not here today, but our CEO Hakan and our CTO Ulaş, they're both Turkish, which is also one of the reasons why I was very close to the heart to open a studio with you. So I mentioned AAA just to recap that. Most of you know, but AAA means the equivalent to Hollywood blockbuster in video games, right? There is so much money in there, right? So there's a lot of big budgets that we talk about. We talk about 10 and hundreds millions of dollars. AAA usually means games and consoles, and games for consoles and PC. We talk about tens of millions of players who access them. Yeah, it's very complex production. You might know it, and if not, I hope you get to enjoy that in big team and feel that for yourself. What does it mean as well is usually between 200 and 300 people working on a project. The project that I worked on, we had 600 to 700 people working on it all across the globe. So that means it is incredibly complex. Specialized teams covering various game features, and yeah, a lot of revolutionary technology and creating detailed, living, breathing worlds usually emerge from them that, when it comes to the technologies, they're also then used in other fields later on. Yeah, and also for premium games. What did we do at IAU? You can see that here. So we have 4 original games and 13 game releases and counting. Yeah, there will be more. I will talk a little bit about the projects that we have cooking right now in a little bit. But all of these games wouldn't be here without our engine, our own game engine, which is Glacier. You'll see the logo popping up in a moment. So that helps us to create all the beautiful worlds that you see in our games, and we're very proud of it, and have a fantastic team working on it and developing it. Glacier, here's the logo. Remember? So, and that means that for more than 2 decades, Glacier has enabled us to push new technology boundaries and inspire the industry and create world-class entertainment. This is what we are using as well to create the following 3 games that we're currently working on. So these are our 3 active projects. Hitman, I don't know, how many of you played Hitman? Anybody? Ah, very nice, very nice. So you know the duck joke, I guess, yeah? There's the ducky, it won't explode, don't worry. But Hitman Roller Assassination, we're very proud of it, and we have a team working on new content. It's super exciting. But even more exciting for a lot of people, because that also has so many fans outside of gaming. It's 007, yeah, James Bond. A lot of us grew up with it. Super cool. And then Project Fantasy. What do these mean? So, World of Assassination is IP developed, or Hitman as an IP is developed and published by IAU. We have a lot of celebrity targets. You know, we have Sean Bean, Dimitri Vegas. We had Conor McGregor in it. There will be some super cool, let's say, yeah, celebrity targets and talents coming up. So stay tuned for more cool people emerging, because this is our 4th year of the current Hitman game, and we're going strong. It's super exciting. Many of you probably have more questions about the other games that we're working on, because you know Hitman, you don't know 007 yet, what we're doing. It's a wholly new original Bond story. It's an origin story, and for those of you who don't know what origin story means, it means the beginnings. Yeah, we're telling the beginnings of Bond. So we're creating our own Bond, and it's yeah, how did he come? Right? How did this happen? So the backstory of our favorite secret agent 007. So this is super exciting. We are developing it, we're publishing it together with partners, of course. You have MGM, you know the line from all the movies, Eon and Delphi. So stay tuned for that. I cannot give you any dates and details except this. I know this is usually a common question after I'm done with this presentation. People say, when will it be released? I cannot tell you. And then we also have Project Fantasy. You can see it looks already very different, right? The colors are different, everything is different. Fantasy, right? Our other 2 games are very grounded in reality. But this is an online fantasy RPG original IP. So we created it. There's no one else tied to it except Microsoft. Yeah? But we're super excited about it. And another question, I'm just assuming it might happen later, why did you choose this? Well, there's a lot of people on the team who worked for many years on Hitman and then also started working on Bond that had passion, right? You know, everybody has their favorite games. And a lot of people on the team that said, what would we love to do? We're passionate. We really would love to do something like this. So they said, we want to do a fantasy RPG. We want to create our own thing. So a team came together, spearheaded by our CDO, I guess, CCO, Chief Creative Officer, Christian, who is leading that team, and they're creating super fantastical stuff. That's all I can tell you about that, unfortunately, as well. What I can tell you more about is studios. And we have 5 beautiful locations. Funny enough, they're all by the sea, so you have ocean no matter where you go. Copenhagen is our oldest studio and where everything began. Then 5 years ago, a little over 5 years ago, we opened the doors to Malmö, which is just a quick ride with the train over the bridge, the Oregon Bridge to Malmö. It's very close, Nordic countries. Later, we opened the Barcelona studio, So this is where they seeked the sun, and they weren't done with the sun, so this is why they also opened Istanbul, which is super cool and then break just recently. I will talk about Istanbul in particular in a little bit. But IAU as a whole, we are having 5 studios, but we also have a lot of different disciplines. So if people think, what should I do in gaming? I want to be in games. There's so much you can do, right? You probably already have your passion. When I studied, I thought I want to become a rigger because I thought that's fun. And then I went into production and I became a producer and I'm a studio manager. So whatever you start with might not be where you end up with. There's so much to do and so much experience and so many countries this might lead you to. Hopefully, maybe one of the companies might be IAU, because we're hiring artists, designers, animators, programmers, producers, QA, operations, which is what you then, group me under, or my colleague Ilka, from finance, who sits over here in the front. So we have a lot of disciplines that contribute to making a great studio and a great game. At IAU, we also define AAA a bit, not different, but we add to it. So for us, what does it mean if you want to work in AAA as a developer? It means we expect a high level of professionalism, creativity, and efficiency. Yeah? So we totally fine to fail, but we want to fail fast to move on, right? To learn from our mistakes and continue. We're looking for highly experienced AAA talent or extraordinary young talent, meaning people that just show the passion, but have a lot of potential, that want to learn and want to jump in. And how you improve that or how you want to show that, we talk about that in a moment. So what we expect from our team members in general, and I can say that it's the same in any company that I worked in the past. So in AAA, we expect them to own their features, right? There's a high sense of ownership and responsibility. You often wear multiple hats, you need to want it, you need to be curious, you get yourself out there, and as I said, fail fast, totally fine to fail, but don't rinse and repeat, learn from your mistakes, and try it out and continue. We like people to go the extra mile, don't just stop at your task, see what else is there. If you see something, see it, say it, sort it. What I would usually say, you fix it if you see something in this. Quick iterations and the ability to collaborate, because you're going to work with a lot of people, and very often in different locations, different countries, maybe different nationalities. So collaboration is very important, and juggle the complexity of that. So if you are some students or if you're looking, you might wonder how to get your foot in, and this is very different depending on what discipline you're working in. However, the most important part is to put it in practice. So portfolios are key, personal websites or ArtStation, whatever you use to show your university project, your spare time, hobby work, your game jam. Yeah, your game jam project. It's super cool. So I love that there's so many people here that are interested and hopefully come up with super cool projects. So companies would like to see that. We would love to see them, right? Because then we have our design lead play them, see, hey, you have talent, we can see what you did in there, you describe us, hey, I did this part of the game jam, super cool, they get us hooked, and we can have a first conversation. So, if you're into levels, build a level, tell us what you did about it, or tell us what you did in it. Design a game, put it together, Unreal, Unity, your choice. Build an engine, a tool, an algorithm, whatever is your passion, but you just want to see the practice. In design in particular, again, portfolio is essential. Yeah? So make it relevant to what we've done before, right? So for example, that means if you want to work in Hitman and you've only done creative, fantastical creatures, might not be the right fit, right? So if you apply, make sure that it also fits the brand that you're applying for. If you apply for fantasy, then it matches, cool, then apply for that project. So this is very important. Research our games, again, with a passion, probably becomes easy to play them, I hope. What are the mechanics, the systems that we use, then we can talk about it in the interviews. So this is very interesting and important for us. So make a game, make a level, share with us what you do. Then for art portfolio, again, these are just examples, right? So don't take it 100%, she said build a level, where's my job? No, this is literally an example. So you can build a whole room, you can build a street, you can build an outdoor props, whatever, right? Props with details, big streets, less detail. Just show us what your passion is and your process. We need to understand your process and the way you think and the way you do these things to understand your inspiration, why you do this. It's about understanding the scale, composition, modeling, texturing. That's what we're looking for. As for programs, some of you might be programmers. C++ is a must for us, for sure. Tools use primarily C++ and C# is secondary, however. For online team, C++ better, but C++ is a must for us. In practice, so we're looking for people who go in depth, right? So not like a shotgun, right? You just want a precision rifle. That's what we look for, just to understand how you think, how you do things. So think about, how an algorithm and data structure work, or how does a compiler work, all these kind of things. This is what we want to talk to you about in these interviews. I want to understand that, right? So, and for us to understand it, we need you to understand the fundamentals of software design, system programming, application programming, memory optimization. These are topics that are very important for us. Yeah. Now, next, soft skills. I call them human skills, because I find them incredibly important to just be called soft skills. Be kind, be humble, willing to learn and help out. This is very important for us, especially now. We have a small team now in Istanbul, so if one person sticks out and people, constantly rub the wrong way, that doesn't work out. So for us, it's very important that we hire kind people, and this is, I think, across IAU a very important fact. Humble people, willing to help out. We give you a lot of responsibility, right? As much as you want. There's always room to grab some more and do some more stuff. It's really cool, a great place to grow, and we'll also support you doing that. In return, we also want you to have a voice and see it, say it, sort it, right? So if something is happening, tell us. We want to hear your thoughts. We have new generations of game makers. We want to hear what's up, right? And we want to for you to share that responsibility of telling us how things are working out. And a good company culture is therefore the most important thing for us. Now, talk about Istanbul a little bit more. This is the studio I moved to 6 months ago. I started in February, but I moved here in May, so I was going back and forth a little bit before. So I'm here for the last 7 months now. So super cool. I'm very happy to be here. You know much more about Istanbul than me, so don't go into all these details. What I can tell you, however, is that originally we started with a small office in Maslak, and then this year in late spring, early summer, we moved everything to Kadıköy. So we moved to the Asian side. We are on Marmara University campus, which is great because parking is for free. And generally, it's a nice young environment. We have a cool building. We're very happy. We just extended our lease, so we're gonna grow. We got some more space. We're very excited about that. And even more excited are we about something we just started. We had 10 fantastic students starting with us that we call the IAU Future Devs. What is that? So Future Devs are students in their penultimate, second to last year of university. Some of them is their last year, depends, that are with us for 2 years while they study. So study goes first, but in the days when they don't study, or the half days, they come to us and they work in QA. So quality assurance, right? They're with us, they get paid, so it's a paid position. It's not just internship, they're with us, and they learn the pipeline, the workflows. If they have a passion in programming, if they have a passion in art, for example, during these 2 years, we make sure they are connected to the right teams and they can learn, they get learning opportunities along that, but also in QA, which is an incredibly important part of game development. As I said, I started in QA. It's really important to understand the whole pipeline and to help us ship quality games without bugs. So this is what they do on a day-to-day basis. So we're really, really excited. We've started this now with the first 10 students. So keep an eye out on the website because, I just said we grow our space. So we hope to extend the program and grow. Sneak peek behind the scenes. This is it. This is some sneak peek from the office. Yes, we have two office mascots. They're called Charlie and Pishi. Pishi, fantastic name. I learned about Pishi here in Istanbul and I will not miss it. It's beautiful. Breakfast, by the way, Turkish breakfast, one of my favorite things. No better breakfast anywhere in the world. Fantastic. So this is some sneak peek into our team. They love the foosball table. I think it's the most used object, I would say. I think every afternoon you will find some people battling. But it's not everything. So of course you have some other cool stuff of why it is great to work at IAU. You know, inspiring AAA projects, cool talent, and team and experience. That's one thing. No, this is a very important slide. Perks, yeah, perks too. You know, if you consider after university, look us up because we have some great perks. You know, we have private health insurances, we have daily meal allowances, we have a studio-wide bonus program that kicks in once we release the game. Learning and development opportunities. As I said, Türkçe biraz, but I'm learning. You know, I'm getting some Turkish classes as well. We have social Fridays, or what we call it Friday bar as well. You know, where we play games, watch movies, have some drinks, whatever. You have 20 days of holiday in your first year, 25 after that. We have a hybrid work setup, so 2 days you work from home if you want. Yeah, there again, English Turkish classes, gym allowance, office snacks. It's quite cool. I can prove that with pictures that it's cool because you can see here. There's Ilka. Huh? Yeah. Here and there twice. So we have some cool stuff. Friday bars, game nights. The team loves board games. Parties, company-wide things. So we have a lot of cool stuff happening. I think this rounds everything about what and who IAU is. So there, I would say thank you very much for your attention. You probably have some questions, maybe, if I haven't answered them already. So thank you, first of all. And please.
Thank you once more. I will say dear Lisa, because you're
Yes.
the same as you told this
Yes,
it was great, marvelous presentation and you give us lots of information. And actually, I think that it's a really great opportunity for all the students here who wants to be active in this industry. Okay,
Questions, anyone?
Friends, is there anyone to want to ask a question?
Good.
We have 2 questions, okay? Let's start with you. Lots of questions.
Okay, so who wants to go first?
You can, do you have any mic or we don't? We don't have. Okay. Yeah.
Oh wait,
Start with
you're
you.
supposed to be outside of this box, right?
Loud. You have 2 questions, okay?
Everyone, can you be a bit quiet so we can hear the question?
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh. Thank you. Workspace? You mean like desks and everything? Or planning? Yes. Okay, give a whole lecture about that. How much time do you have? 48 hours? Good. It really depends on your size, on your team, on your project. It's really a big answer to go into this in detail, but in general, I would say break it down into achievable little chunks. Yeah. Track it online to track your time, understand how much time you need for your task. This is what you mean. So you understand this is how long we took for this feature. Okay, now I can adjust that for the next feature, right? Because usually what you set out to do is, I need 5 days for this. Often not true, right? Often it is actually longer, so you need to learn from that and adjust along the way. So the very simplified answer is track it, estimate it, and break it down into smaller chunks. But I can literally come back and give a whole presentation about that if you like. Mm-hmm. Portfolio. Portfolio is key. We just hired 2 fantastic people, one junior concept artist and one senior animator. Both of them, I mean, one of them, fantastic guy, 15 years of experience, worked in film and everything, and another one is a junior, right? Very junior, but they have great portfolios. I say junior, she also worked in other companies, but compared to the 15 years, right, she recently started. So the portfolios are very, very important to us, that they're relevant to the projects that we do, so that we can connect and see, can adjust, can see how this would match our project. So portfolio is most important. You're welcome. You asked the first question, so you're getting a duck for this. So watch out, people. You have to give it up. There you go.
Right, okay. We have lots of questions.
Ah, yeah, because I saw the ducks, right? See how many ducks I got. Yeah.
Please, friends, we can hear.
Question for the play.
Yes?
Is that game developing in the Istanbul City?
Very good question. So, one of our key values is one team, one rule. So, it's very important for us that all the 5 locations can equally work on all the projects we do. Meaning, we don't have just the codec studio that just does audio, just does QA or something like this. So, we have all the disciplines, we have programmers, we have artists, we have animators, concept art, environment art. We have all of the disciplines in our studio, and some of them work on 007.
So, let's say if I come in here in Istanbul, I can work on developing an engine, or I can work on developing a product.
Exactly. Exactly. It of course depends, you know, if there's a position open, what's needed, etc. But yes, this is the idea, and this is something that we're quite happy and proud of. And also one of the reasons why we don't have a studio in, for example, Canada, because then it wouldn't work as well with the time difference. So this is why we chose 5 locations that are more or less in a similar time zone to help us work together and collaborate this way. Are you ready for the duck? It worked out. I cannot promise, and I'm supposed to stay in here, but from the throw I go. Sorry.
You can answer that.
Firstly, formal English. None of the games you show have the Turkish language support. What is the reason for this?
Sorry, you asked for the missing Turkish language support in the game?
Language, Turkish language.
Yeah.
Language.
Localization.
Sorry, I was speaking to the phone and I completely missed the question. What was the question?
None of the games you showed have Turkish language support. What is the reason for this?
Is that true? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Actually, none of them have Turkish language support, but I mean, it costs money to create, and then you have to always compare it to the player base. I hope this is something we will do in the future, especially now that we're here, so it's much easier for us to find talent and work with local agencies. So I hope we can do that in the future. I have to get back to you on the reason of why this is not the case right now, but my gut feeling is from previous experience that it's often a calculation, right, between player base and cost to create it. But usually there should be subtitles, right? But VO is very, very expensive to do.
Thank you.
You want a duck?
Yes.
Okay.
So lots of the people here are going to ask questions because of ducks.
But here in gray shirt, you have your hand up for a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which one?
We do have recruiters in our company, yes. We currently don't have one located in Istanbul, but we have recruiters otherwise all over the place. Some of them speak Turkish, so you can hit them up on LinkedIn and connect with them. I would recommend that in general because our recruiters, they post the recent jobs, right? They're the first ones to post it. Of course, we often post the ones that are local, but they post the ones that are global. So I absolutely recommend checking on LinkedIn, you know, talent acquisition specialist, and connect with them. Sorry? Now we all talk. Interns, yes. So, internship is also an interesting topic. Thanks for bringing it up. As we are very new, right? We also need to have the right amount of people with the seniority to teach the interns. It is something that I hope we can get maybe in the next round in summer started when we have our team members that are on board and with us long enough that we can actually, you know, pay it forward and teach the interns. But it's something I'm really keen on doing. And, you know, we are here, we're connecting to professors so that we can hopefully establish these relationships in the future.
But for now, you are not
Not in Istanbul, but in all the other 4 locations we do. Yeah.
Not in Istanbul, of course.
Okay. Ah. There you go.
Here we can ask you because one of the questions from the beginning.
Hi, firstly, I want to say thank you for your presentation. I want to ask two questions. And first, how can I prepare myself for the teamwork? That's my first question. And the second is, I am very good at modeling and art and coding. How can I, what's the best position for me? I want to do them both at the same time.
Modeling and coding.
Yeah.
If you would have said art and programming, I would have probably said something like tech art. Now, it's really a personal decision, a preference you have to make. I think you can try it out, right? Internships, or try in your free time what is your passion and where you maybe also have a talent. But I cannot say do what comes easier. Absolutely not, because sometimes we have to do what's hard, to master everything. So I would say check what your real passion is, try it out, or come as a QA tester, feel in both fields, right? That's what I said also, like, I started in one field and ended up in a completely different one, right? So if you're in programming, for example, maybe you become a texture artist. You never know, or 3D model, etc. So I think you don't have to think that just because you start with one is where you end up in 10 years. That's definitely one thing. What the first question was how to get...
How can I prepare myself for teamwork?
Interesting question. You're doing it tonight, right? You're doing it for the next 2 days. You're going to work with a bunch of people. I don't know if you know them already, if not know them already in your group, but you're going to work with people, I think. Right? So this is already fantastic. You're doing it. You're doing it. There you go.
Okay, we have lots of questions.
You can have all the questions, but only have one more. But also you, with the white shirt, have your hand up for a while.
Thank you for coming to Istanbul, Turkey. And my question is, when did you decide to open a studio in Istanbul and why?
Okay, so we opened 2023, but of course you don't open a studio tomorrow just because you think about it today. So it took a little bit of time, and as Hakan, our CEO, is Turkish, so he's Danish-Turkish, while he lives in Denmark and has a family in Denmark, his roots and part of his heart is here in Istanbul, so this is where his parents are from. So he wanted to pay forward, pay or give back, yeah, and he wanted to open the doors for Turkish citizens into the gaming industry because it's very hard, we currently experience that with our team members. It's so hard to get the visa and everything. It's really difficult just for them to travel. So we wanted to see about all the great talent that is here, because there's so much talent. I can see all of you here, you're passionate about games, that's why you're here. And this is why we decided to open a studio here, because he wanted to give back and also, meet the great talent that the others are missing out on.
Thank you for answering.
That was good. Sorry.
Okay, you choose because I want to ask you.
You can ask me all the questions. I just run out of ducks. Then I have one more. That's a secret hidden duck. You can choose. It's hard for me.
Okay, you ask me question. Hi, thank you for this global presentation. I just want to ask you about, you already talked about the game engine that you're using, but when it comes to art, what do you use? Which software do you prefer? Can you talk about that too?
A little bit. I know that our team is in Maya, and I think Oyun 3ds Max, probably both. I have to get back to you on it. I'm not 100% sure, but if you know them,
It's probably Maya. I'm not sure about it.
that's what I use in my university as well, and what we use in other companies. But I have to double check because I haven't made the experience with something.
Yeah, I was wondering about it.
I can get back to you about that. There you go.
That's one.
Yes.
Okay, friends, please, let's respect each other because we have the Lisa here and we can't hear her. And also, it is possible that one of the questions is your question too. So it will be great if we can hear the Lisa's voice. Okay, you in green shirt.
I wonder, how did you guys came up with the Hitman? Basically, where did you guys came up with the idea? Or
Good question. I don't know. I wish I knew. It's a very good question. I'm write it down and come back to you on this one.
Okay, thank you.
It's probably out there on YouTube somewhere where someone credited like Christian is talking about it. I don't know. You know all that up? No, we don't. Okay, we have to get back to you on this one.
We don't have ducks, so we don't have answers.
Yeah, I know that sounds like
You
that.
ask a question.
I'm going to ask you a question about IAU.
Yeah,
And does it provide the program for transfer and influence other countries?
good question.
And the other is, if you want to establish a startup, how can you know that you are ready for it, and what are the necessary steps to follow?
Okay, so the first one, is a very good question. We have a lot of people that are interested to transfer from one studio to the other. Yeah, it is, of course, let's be honest, it's easier on the European side, right? So we have a lot of people that transferred from, Malmö to Barcelona, for example, which is very easy if they hold the European passport because there's not much hassle. From here, of course, it's harder because you have to apply for visa and residence and whatnot. So I've just been through the whole process and I came here, so I know it's lengthy. The support is, so there's an option, yes, you can work from another studio, but if there is no need from a project or a company point of view, then we probably won't pay you to do it. Then it's more your initiative to say, you know what, I want to move to Barcelona, then we can say, okay, after you're with us for a while, it's like, okay, you've been here, let's say 2 years, we want to invest in you, we give you a desk there, your lead is there, we help you with all the paperwork, but you probably pay your own relocation and whatnot, but we help you with the paperwork and all this kind of stuff. But for that, we would like people to be with us for a little bit. So you cannot join us and months later say, by the way, bye. So that's not the case. When it comes to the startup, I'm definitely the wrong person to ask because you've seen Electronic Arts and Ubisoft and IAU, none of them are startups. I've never worked in startups, I don't know. But I give a guess. If you want, I don't know, I think if you're ready, if you have a solid business plan, if you have double and triple checked it, if your financial outlook is stable enough for you to carry yourself for a little bit, because you need to eat, you need to pay rent, and you need to have a good idea that inspires people. So I think it's important to test it maybe with a couple of people, probably investors first, and there are a lot of them out there. If you check on LinkedIn, sometimes I'm surprised how many people have these kind of investmentship positions as their side job. So I think I would tease it with them, talk to experienced people, and see if they think there's some gold in there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes? Hi. Thank you.
And by the way, your presentation was awesome. Thank you about that.
Yeah, so glad that I didn't have to read it this way though. Yeah.
My question is, you said we have different studios around the globe. As a Turkish, is it possible to work on different studios?
Yes, that's pretty much the question. So yes, it's possible. We usually want you to work with us for like 2 years or something to make sure that, when we invest in you to move to another country and help with all the visa and all the kind of stuff, we would like to know, you and that you're with us, that you get to stay and get to know you, etc., and work with us a little bit. So then after that, if there's room in another studio, yes. Yes. However, if you have the talent and say, I'm the one you're looking for, and that location is very specific to, let's say, Brighton in the UK, right? You can always apply, right? So there is, of course, a chance that they say, yeah, this is the man, we want him, we ship him over here, fantastic. So this will never stop you. Always apply for a position if it's tied to location. And if you apply anywhere, you can also say my location preference, right? But it's something to try out. I would always try.
Okay.
All the way in the back. Yes, you. But I don't hear you. Mm-hmm. No.
So my question is, yes, what's always important, but what are the things that are important and the person that are looking through the portfolio see and yeah, this guy was interesting. So there has to be something there to shine between both of these pieces.
It's true, very true. And right now the industry is really difficult to get into, right? Yeah, I wish I could solve that problem. When it comes to the portfolio and the application, I think it's important that you make it very clear what's your passion, why you're there, and that you're doing something special. You know it when you open ArtStation, for example. There are certain things you've seen a million times, right? Some kind of, I don't know, I'm not giving examples now because I don't want to say the wrong thing, but there's a lot of things you've seen a million times. Maybe don't do that, right? Look at it from another angle, look at something different. I think it's important that you show, that you understand, scale, proportion, all of this, your art, your craft, but also have the creative eye to maybe show it with a twist. I think this is always good. It's difficult. I'm not gonna lie, super difficult to get your foot in for the very first time. After that, with your experience and games you worked on, it becomes easier because people know a game and they can refer to it, right? So they understand, okay, you worked on this, okay, cool, I played that game, okay, let's talk about it. For the very first time, it can be difficult. That's why it's also helpful to look for junior positions in it, of course, look for internships, but also look for, cross entries to QA or other things. So if you're not sure, do you want to do, programming or art, maybe you go for tech art. So, keep it a bit open. I would also say it can also help. I mean, you can absolutely apply for whatever you want to do, right? I mean, no one is stopping you, and I think if you have a passion and a drive, and you can want to only do this one thing, do it, right? But then focus everything on it, and get good, and get so good that you stand out.
I wonder about what do you think about the tokenization of games and the pixels and the letters and the coding, the tokenization of blockchain? What do you think about this? And do you have any project about it? Or
Blockchain.
Blockchain.
I don't know enough about it, to be honest.
Tokenization of games, especially in terms of modding, the glacier modding, because you have a system and the open. I think it's not open source, but it can be a tokenized and decentralized autonomous organization.
Yes.
Can be injected in it in a way. And what do you think about this? I wonder about that.
See, I wish Ulla would be here now. We asked for him to maybe do an online talk, but he would be able to answer that too. I can't, because I don't know enough about it, but I'm happy to get back to you on it. Or actually to get Ulla here for your next game jam to do an online talk, or you can come here. He's actually due to come here next to Istanbul, so I'm happy to hook him up for a talk here. But he would love that. He would love to be here and talk to all of you. Unfortunately, I cannot give you a good answer.
We could have him as our guest, but maybe the next time.
Yeah, exactly.
Your question was too hard, actually. I'm in the same boat. And you?
Okay, hello. I have two questions. First of them is, even though some studios get so successful with their games, we see most of them rapidly laying off their employees. Riot Games does it, Microsoft does it, huge companies do it. They give some compensation, but of course being laid off does not take the toll off. Do you have any precautions as yourself, as an employee or as studio manager for yourself? Did you make any plans about that for a possibility like that? And the second one, I don't know if you may talked about it in your presentation, I'm sorry, I was a bit late, but we saw in your resume, you jumped from studio to studio, like, I think the longest time you worked about 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah.
Is there a specific reason that you don't stay at a company for so long, or do you, like, what is the reason?
Turn the camera off for a moment. If you look at the timeline, I was at Crytek for the longest, right? I left there because they also went through financial difficulties, like so many companies do. And I'm so glad that they recovered from it, and they're doing fantastic with Hunt. But back then, they went through difficulty. I needed to pay the rent, and I had a great offer from the UK. I always wanted to live abroad, and once I did it, I wanted more. right? So I moved to the UK. The first 2 months, I was like, I'm never going to do this again, with the boxing and packing and whatnot. After 6 months, I'm like, ooh, this is fun. I can do it again. So I stayed there, had a great opportunity, and I learned a lot. I worked on 2 Need for Speeds. It would have been the third one that I then went into, and I thought, okay, what else is there? What are the other projects? Because in production, project management, right? You also want to learn and grow, and I had a then better opportunity with bigger teams and gameplay teams, because I was working with cinematics and character art, etc. for a long time. I worked with audio for a long time, and I wanted to know more, right? So then I moved into gameplay, where I worked with all the disciplines, and was lucky to lead a 200 people team, part of a 700 people leadership team. So I was very lucky to get the opportunity there. And then after 10 years, I thought, okay, what else can I do? After 10 years of production and project management with so big teams, what can I do next? And I wanted to check out general management, right? So that, which includes so many other things outside of development. So I changed. That was pretty much the motivation. I wanted to learn and grow, because I'm not done learning, I'm not done growing, you know, and I wanted to do that. And the opportunity came. Yeah.
Thank you.
The first question is a difficult one. Saving, haha, easier said than done, right? I mean, I always think, well, what's the worst thing that can happen? The worst thing that could happen, I would probably go back to my mom's and sleep on her couch. And that's not that bad, because my mom's a great chef, right? She can cook very well. So it's not the worst thing that could happen. So this is why I didn't have a great over-engineered fallback plan. But I also knew that worst thing happened, I could work at something else. I can always go back to production, for example, project management, and I could adjust what I learned into other industries, software industries and startups, etc. So I thought I would find another job, which might have been then in another industry, right? But that would have been my fallback plan, if you want to know.
Thanks so much.
Again, the last question, because time is like
You choose the last one.
but you asked your question,
Ah,
so
you-
we are not going to choose you.
And you got a duck already, so.
It's a good question.
Oh.
Someone has
Is it the best question of today? Ooh. No, one is, okay.
what is the role of artificial intelligence in companies nowadays?
Not the best question. Next one. I mean, you know, I use ChatGPT all the time. Like, hey, can you write me a post about this? Can you write me a thing about that? Can you give me the inflation of these 5 countries over the 5 years? So I use it a lot because it makes my life easier. However, I sometimes ask it questions of which I know the answer and know that the ChatGPT gives me the wrong answer. That happens as well. So it's not free of fault. But I think it makes our life easier. You know, a lot of our team members use Copilot. We use it for meeting minutes, you know, to summarize the notes and everything all the time. If you want a more technical answer, I will go back to Ulash, who needs to come here for sure to answer all of these things for you. But I think it plays a big role when it comes to these things already, right? And in the future, it's probably a bigger role, but it will not replace everyone and everything. So one last one.
And the last one, the last.
Yeah, okay,
The
fine.
next last one.
I always want to be a story writer. Do you have any specific advice for want to story writing?
Well, I need to refer to you for writing.
I don't know how to answer you, but I can answer you.
I can give you an answer when it comes to games, but when it comes to actual profound writing experience, I think she will be a perfect person to talk to. When it comes to games, I think it also depends where you want to be, right? Because as we're working so internationally, we often, for example, if we take James Bond, we look for people also that speak British English, right? Because we want to have the humor reflected in it, and the typical things that James Bond might say. So there, for example, native speaking is very important for us. But if you, for example, want to write I don't know, if it doesn't matter if you wear what, I would find something that you're proficient, right? Find maybe a topic that you know about, etc. Learn how to write it. I used to work in audio with narrative together, so I managed an audio and narrative team. And I also then, sometimes it's like writing exercises with them and stuff like this. Do that, hand it in, hand your portfolio in, do maybe in the game jam you can write the lines, you can record them, you can put them in, you can explain how you put them in, what system you used, etc. And explain it in the application.
And the most interesting topic was today, this which will inspire your
Yes, yeah, exactly. I hope one of you will do like one of these weird flip down games, because this was motion sickness cure.
Okay, cool. I'm not sure if we have enough time to continue the question, right?
More maybe.
Okay, the last next one. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you for coming and sharing your experience.
You're welcome.
I'd like to know that how did you end up in the project manager position?
Yes.
What was the crucial steps you made along the way?
Yes, also a good question. As I said earlier, when I started studying, first of all I thought, animation and game, animation is cool, I did a bit of that before, maybe I started that, then realized I always love games, it is a profession, so I focused on games, so I immediately quit my side job that I had, focused on games, and then I thought I want to become a rigger, because it was interesting to me. I took several classes with people also from the movie industry, and it was super inspiring and super cool. But then every time we had to hand in our project, I realized how many of my fellow students, they were much better artists and much better creative people than me, failed the deadline. And I was thinking, that's the easy part. You have a date, you backtrace it, you see when you need to start, you get it, cram it in if you have to. But these amazingly creative people that started out university, and I'm thinking, why are they even studying? They're amazing, right? Because they were doing 3D art for years in their home, just failed the deadline. And I decided, okay, this is something that comes very easy to me. Let's focus on that. So one of the things we had in our third semester back then, we had like a project, like a workshop, like similar to a game job, but a whole semester. And I took the producer role. Nobody wanted it. Nobody wanted to stand in front of people and talk. Nobody wanted to track other people's work, right? That's the easy thing, isn't it? So I think it also was something that came a bit more natural to me because I'm fairly outgoing. I don't mind, putting myself in certain situations and argue for the team. So I just focused on everything on it. So every class that we had, I focused on that, and did a master's then as well in media direction, which is like leadership in the creative industries. They renamed it now, so focused on it, and I did that. And then when I did started internship at Kretschmer, and then as soon as they had the junior project manager position open, I'm like, dove right in. Yeah.
Is there any recommendations especially you want to tell to our young?
Keep an eye on our website and apply. It'd be great to see you.
Great, thank you. Thank you for sharing your time.
Thank you. Can I delete the text from your sticker?
Alsana Ömür.
Fotoğraf mı çekildi? Temaya çıkacaktı be. Tamam. Elif. 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 Tamam fotoğraf. Bakmam lazım öyle. Aynen çekemem böyle. Bakmam lazım öyle. O zaman hani selam söyle herkese. Temayı da nereden baksınlar temaya? Onu da söyle. Ben çekiyor muyuz şu an? Ben çekiyorum.
Instagram canlı yayınımızdan ve WhatsApp'ımızdan ulaşabilirsiniz arkadaşlar.